Does Pete Maverick Mitchell die at the beginning of Top Gun Maverick? Is the entire rest of the movie a death dream? Let's talk about it. Hello everyone, I'm David Chen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I typically talk about film, television, technology, and media on this channel. If you enjoy this video, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. But let's get into this conversation about what is actually happening in Top Gun Maverick and whether or not Tom Cruise's character died at the beginning of it. Now, I do want to point out I was clued into this theory by Alison Wilmore over at vulture.com. Be sure to check out her piece. I'll link to it below in the description. I also heard Bill Simmons talk about it on the Rewatchables podcast. So parts of this video may be inspired by portions of that piece or of that conversation. So I want to cite my sources right off the bat. I also want to say there's going to be spoilers for Top Gun Maverick starting right now. If you don't want to know what happens in Top Gun Maverick, obviously I'm going to spoil the hell out of it. So watch the movie, then come back, watch this video, and learn whether or not Tom Cruise's character is dead for the duration of Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick begins with Pete Maverick Mitchell's character flying a vehicle called the Dark Star, and he's trying to push it to a speed that it has never flown before, Mach 10. Maverick is able to actually achieve going Mach 10, but he tries to push it a little bit further. He tries to go to Mach 10.1, Mach 10.2, and unfortunately, the vehicle starts disintegrating. He ejects, the vehicle explodes, but fortunately, Maverick makes it onto the ground safely. Or so we think. Is there reason to believe that Maverick actually died during that opening scene, and that everything that happens after that is actually a death dream or a hallucination that happens right before he perished? I think there is, and I'm going to list some reasons why that might be the case. Some of these reasons overlap, you'll forgive me, but here we go. Reason number one, Mach 10 is really, really, really fast. Mach 10 is around 7,600 miles per hour. That's over 15 times what you would be flying at if you flew a commercial airline these days. That's faster than any human has ever traveled. It's certainly faster than anyone has ever survived. I actually looked this up. The fastest that someone has ever survived in a crash is 2,400 miles per hour when a man named Bill Weaver was ripped out of his SR-71 spy plane. And that's an aberration. Like, it's really rare for someone to be able to survive something that fast at all. The fact that Maverick is going over 7,600 miles per hour, and also we see his vehicle explode and it looks like the entire plane disintegrates. Like, it looks like no one freaking survived that thing. That alone is reason enough to believe that he bought it at the beginning of Top Gun Maverick. If you believe that Maverick dies at the beginning of Top Gun Maverick, everything else in the movie makes a lot more sense. So my second reason is everything in the movie is super dreamlike after that. For instance, when Maverick lands on the ground after his plane explodes, he walks into this diner that looks like it was out of a Norman Rockwell painting. And there are multiple scenes in the rest of the movie that feel super dreamlike and ethereal. Could just be Joseph Kosinski's direction and Claudio Miranda's exceptional cinematography skills, or it could be that Maverick Mitchell is dead. Point number three, Maverick is called back to teach at Top Gun. An extremely unlikely scenario. Yes, his old wingman, Iceman Kazansky, was pulling for him, but everyone hates him. Ed Harris doesn't respect him. John Hamm freaking has outright contempt for him. The mission that he's training everyone on is super important. Would they really allow this washed up guy to train all of the young recruits? I mean, let's face it, Tom Cruise's character is a bit of a maverick. That's his whole name. So why would they entrust this mission to this guy unless it was a death dream? Point number four, after Tom Cruise goes back to the Top Gun school, we see the bar where he's hanging out at with Penny, and Bradley Bradshaw walks in the door dressed like his father with a mustache, and he knows how to perform Great Balls of Fire and sing all the lyrics. Now, yes, that was a favorite song of his late father's, but I mean, Miles Teller's younger than me. I don't even know the words to Great Balls of Fire, man. Come on. Point number five, if you think about the movie structure, what Maverick is doing is making peace with all these people in his life with whom he has untied loose ends. It's almost like the movie is a kind of purgatory that he needs to deal with before he can truly ascend into heaven and the afterlife. He still thinks he's responsible for the death of Goose, and he needs to make peace with Goose's son. Obviously, he and Penny have had an on and off thing in the past, but he hasn't really treated her super well, and so now he gets to have the opportunity to do that in this movie. And of course, it also seems like Iceman, played by Val Kilmer in this movie, has been doing him a bunch of favors all these years and getting him assignments and making sure he's not dishonorably discharged. And Maverick finally has the opportunity to pay him back in a way during the course of this movie. So really, it's about making peace with all the people that you love before you die. Point number 6, what exactly is Hondo doing in this movie? Hondo is a super cool guy. He is in the opening scenes with Tom Cruise and the Dark Star, but that program is cut, yet he's still kind of following Tom Cruise around for the rest of the movie. I mean, they don't explain what his role is. It only really makes sense if Hondo is an apparition that is following around Tom Cruise in his subconscious before he's about to ascend to the metaphysical realms. Case closed. Point number 7, the enemy in Top Gun Maverick is unnamed, giving them this ethereal quality, perhaps a quality only possible for those who are experiencing a pre-death vision. We don't know who the enemy is in Top Gun Maverick, and people online have tried to figure out who the enemy is based on the characteristics that we know about them in the movie, like they have 5th-gen fighters, they're enriching uranium, and so on. No one has been able to identify a country in real life that has all of these qualities. I know some people think it's Iran, but I actually think that's not true. I think it's supposed to be unnamed. Some people, I think, were mishearing uranium as Iranian, and that's not what the movie is saying. They are unnamed in the movie. You would think that during the course of regular conversation, you would say who the enemy is that you're fighting, unless it's not really happening. And finally, point number 8, Maverick survives at the end. He goes on this impossible mission where everything leading up to the mission is just funereal. Like, it feels like he's going to die. It feels like there's no one going to make it back from this. The mission is pretty much impossible. They set it up to be like this impossibly difficult thing, and then he survives. Not only does he survive, but he survives after being shot down. After Rooster is shot down, they both figure out a way to make it to one of the fighters that he flew in the original Top Gun and get out of there alive. Come on. Come on. There's no way, right? There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. So did Pete Maverick Mitchell survive the opening scenes of Top Gun Maverick? I've laid out the case for why I think he might not have. But the question you want to ask yourself when it comes to a fan theory like this is, does it make the film richer and more interesting? And if so, you can read it as though he didn't survive. And if it makes it less interesting to you, then just ignore. You can still enjoy the film as is. But I think it's a fun theory, and I think there's a lot of evidence to show that it's true. Unless they make Top Gun 3, in which case, please ignore everything I've said. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And do hit like, subscribe, hit that bell icon if you enjoyed. I want to thank all of my patrons at patreon.com/Dave Chen. They are who make my videos and my podcast possible. I specifically would like to thank my executive producer patrons, Kevin Sau, Ian, Stephen Miller, Sid Yadav, Steve Austin, Kwang Yu Liu, Dan Flanagan, Jeff Evans, and Mark C. Warner. Thanks so much to all those folks, as well as all the other fine folks at patreon.com/Dave Chen. Sign up there to get bonus audio podcasts as well as hangouts with me, David Chen. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Goodbye.